Hey all, today I'm going to show you how to set up Safari on your Mac for the best experience. I'm currently running the public beta of macOS 26, which is Apple's newest operating system for Mac, expected to be finalized and released to the public at some point in September. But don't worry, these tips will work on the current macOS version as well. In this video, I'll go over everything from customizing Safari's start page and setting your homepage to using the profiles feature, managing favorites, and organizing with tab groups. This tutorial is perfect for beginners or casual users who want to personalize Safari and make the most of its features. By the end of this video, you'll have Safari on your Mac fully set up just the way you like it. With that said, let's get started. Let's start with the Safari start page. This is a page Safari opens by default when you launch a new Safari window or tab, unless you change this setting, but more on that later. It can show you useful stuff like your favorite websites, frequently visited pages, Siri suggestions, your reading list, iCloud tabs, and a privacy report all in one place. To customize the start page, look for the customization icon in the bottom right corner of the page. It looks like a set of sliders or toggles. In macOS 26, the icon will just say Edit like you see here on my screen. Click that and you'll see options to personalize what appears on your start page. In this same section, you can also choose a custom background image for this page. Go through this list yourself, but I'll tell you what I like enabling here. For me, I like to see my favorites so that I can easily access those pages. I also like enabling the reading list for quick access to any sites I've added to this list, and I do like to see iCloud tabs. If you're not familiar with this feature, iCloud tabs will show you tabs you have open in any device that is signed in to the same Apple ID as your Mac. As you can see in this section, I see I have a few pages opened on my iPad mini and one on my iPhone. By the way, you can also reorder these sections in the same menu. Once you finish selecting the sections you want to display, simply click out of this list and there you go. Every new tab or window will now greet you with this customized dashboard of your favorite content, which is a great way to start browsing. One last thing to mention here is that if you are browsing a website and want to return to your start page, you simply have to click this dots icon on the top left of your screen and you will be taken back to the start page. Now let's talk about the home page. This is a specific web page that you can designate as your home page. It's the page that Safari can automatically load when you open the browser or when you click a home button if you add one to Safari's toolbar. Like I mentioned before, by default, Safari's new windows and tabs open to the start page, which we reviewed earlier, but you might prefer a custom website as your homepage. Maybe your email inbox, a news site, or a search engine. To set your homepage, open Safari, then go to the top menu bar and click Safari and choose Settings. On older macOS versions, you might see these as Preferences instead. In the Settings window, make sure you're in the General tab. Look for the field labeled Homepage. Click inside that box and type the URL of the site you want as your homepage. For example, here you can see I have Apple's website set as my homepage. If the page you want to set up as your homepage is the one you already have open in Safari, just click the Set to Current Page button next to the homepage field. This will instantly set that page as your new homepage. Just above this setting, you'll see options for New Windows Open With and New Tabs Open With. To have Safari show your homepage whenever you open a new window or tab, set both of those dropdowns to homepage. If you prefer to keep using the start page for new tabs or windows, you can leave this set to start page or choose another option like an empty page or the same page option, which really just duplicates the current site you're in. Here's a pro tip for you. Unless you really want to, there's no need to set a search engine like Google or Bing as your homepage. Safari's address bar, also known as the Smart Search field, doubles as a search box, meaning you can type your search query right into the address bar and Safari will use your preferred search engine to find what you need. You can even choose which search engine Safari uses by default and review the Smart Search field configurations in Safari's settings. This way, you can keep your homepage as something more useful or interesting to you since Safari's search functionality is easily accessible via the address bar anyway. One more thing regarding your homepage. Safari doesn't show a home button in the toolbar by default. If you want a one-click home button for quick access to your homepage, you'll need to add it. Here is how. Go up to the view and select Customize Toolbar. A customization panel will appear with a bunch of icons. Find the home button icon, it looks like a little house, and drag it up into your Safari toolbar. Then click Done. You should now see a home icon on your toolbar. Clicking that icon will take you straight to whatever page you have set as your home page. If you're enjoying this video and learning something new, please take a second to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps out and you'll get more tutorials like this. Next, let's dive into Safari profiles. Profiles let you separate your browsing into different contexts. For example, I have one profile for all my YouTube related stuff, another for personal, and I've created this demo profile for this video. Each profile keeps things like your browsing history, your cookies, bookmarks and favorites, tab groups and extensions separate from each other. This means you can be logged into the same site with different accounts in different profiles without any conflicts. It's similar to the profiles feature in Chrome or Edge, and it's super handy if you share your computer or just want to keep your work and personal browsing worlds apart. To set up a new Safari profile, go to Safari, then click Settings and look for the Profiles tab. Click the plus button to add a new profile. Give the profile a name, and here you can also pick an icon and a color for the profile for easy identification. Once you've created a profile, how do you use it? Safari will indicate the active profile somewhere in the window. For instance, you might see the profile's name or icon in Safari's toolbar or in the sidebar menu. To switch profiles or open a window in another profile, you have a couple of options. You can click on the profile icon and select another profile from the drop-down menu, which for me is the easier option. Or you can also go to the File menu and look for the New Window option. Here, you'll see that you can open windows for specific profiles using shortcuts, but to be honest, this is not something I do often. I just rather use the dropdown. Each Safari window belongs to a single profile at a time. So you could have one Safari window open in your work profile with all your work-related tabs and logins, and another window open in your personal profile with your personal email, social media, etc. When you browse in one profile, none of that activity overlaps with your other profiles. Another quick pro tip I have when setting up multiple profiles is to make sure to assign each profile to its own favorites folder. This way, your work bookmarks don't get mixed with your personal ones and you'll have quick access to the right set of sites for each context. For example, my YouTube's profile favorites bar is all about analytics, content tools, and upload pages, while my personal profile's favorites are news, shopping, and travel sites. Keeping your favorites organized per profile really helps keep your browsing life clean and efficient. But as much as I like Safari's profiles feature, it's not perfect. Here's why. First, it's not always obvious which profile you're currently using. Aside from the small profile dropdown, which you can color code, there's no big visual cue. In Chrome, for example, the entire toolbar can take on a different color for each profile, which makes it much easier for my brain to instantly know, okay, I'm in work, or this is my personal profile. Safari's more subtle approach means I sometimes have to double check before I start working. Second, and this one really surprises me, is you can set a unique homepage or default startup page for secondary profiles. Remember earlier when we talked about setting a custom homepage instead of the start page? That setting really only applies to your default profile. For any other profile like my YouTube or this demo profile, the new windows open with and the new tabs open with options only gives me options like start page, empty page, or send page. There's no way to have those profiles open directly to a specific site every time, which feels like a missed opportunity. Nevertheless, profiles can be great for productivity and privacy. No more logging in and out of different accounts constantly, and no more mixing work stuff with personal stuff. It keeps your browser organized and tailored to each role you have throughout the day. Now, let's talk about favorites. Those are the bookmarks for sites you want quick access to all the time. In Safari, your favorites will appear on the start page as icons, and they can also appear in a favorites bar across the top under your address bar. Here are some tips for managing your favorites. By default, Safari might not display the favorites bar. To turn it on, go to the View menu and select Show Favorites bar. This will add a bar just below the address bar, displaying all your favorite sites by name or icon. If you ever want to hide it, you can go back to the View menu and select Hide Favorites bar. When you're on a website that you love and want to save, click the Share button and then select Add Bookmark. A dialog will pop up asking where to save the bookmark. In the drop-down menu, select the Favorites folder to save it to your default profile's favorites, or select the specific folder for that profile, which in my case is a demo folder. Once added to favorites, that site's icon will appear on your start page and in the favorites bar for easy access. You can rearrange your favorites by clicking and dragging their icons around. On the Start page, drag an icon to reposition it on the grid. On the Favorites bar, you can drag left or right to change the order. You can even create folders to group similar favorites together. To make a Favorites folder, open the sidebar and choose Bookmarks. Find the folder profile you want to create the new folder in, and then click on the three dots and select New Folder. Name the folder. Now you can drag some of your favorites into that folder. On the Favorites bar, that folder will appear and you can click on it to see the drop-down list of sites inside. This is great for organizing a lot of favorites without crowding your bar. Similar to the Profiles feature, I think Apple could make a few tweaks to improve this favorites feature. For one, Safari doesn't show you if a page is already marked as favorite. So sometimes I end up bookmarking the same site twice without realizing it. Another small annoyance is the folder structure in the sidebar. Favorites for other profiles are clearly labeled with the profile name, but for your default profile, the folder is just called favorites, which feels inconsistent. And while we're here, I also find it odd that tab groups appear inside the bookmark section in the sidebar. It's not immediately clear why they live here, and I think Apple could do a better job separating these. Little changes like this could make managing our favorites a lot more intuitive. In any case, by keeping your favorites organized, you'll always have your most frequented sites one click away. This makes browsing Safari a lot faster and more convenient, since you won't have to repeatedly type in web addresses or search for these sites every time. If you're someone who keeps a ton of tabs open, Safari's Tab Groups feature can be a game changer. Tab Groups let you save and organize sets of tabs so you can switch between different browsing sessions in the same profile without clutter. For example, you might have a tab group for vacation planning with airline and hotel tabs, another tab group for research or news with all the news sites and document tabs open, and maybe a shopping tab group for items you're comparing. You can switch between these groups easily, and the tabs in one group won't interfere with the others. An added bonus is that tab groups actually sync across your devices via iCloud, so you can access those groups on your iPhone or iPad as well. Here's how to use tab groups in Safari. If you already have a bunch of tabs open that you want to save as a group, just open the side menu bar and click the new tab group icon. Then select New Empty Tab Group with X number of pages. Safari will prompt you to name this new tab group. Type a descriptive name and hit Enter. Now, all of those open tabs are saved into a group under that specific name, and Safari will remember them even if you close the window. You can also create an empty tab group by choosing the New Empty Tab Group option. Give your new empty group a name, and now you'll have a blank tab group ready, and any new tabs you open while this group is active will be part of this new empty tab group. To switch between groups, simply open the sidebar again and click on the name of the tab group you want to view. Safari will instantly switch to that group of tabs. Each group is like its own workspace, and you can swap between them depending on what you're working on. One pro tip I have here is that Safari lets you share whole tab groups with others, which can be handy if, for example, you're planning a trip with a group of friends. Once shared, others who join will see the same set of tabs and they can add tabs too. It's a pretty neat way to collaborate and ensure everyone is literally on the same page. Using tab groups can really declutter your browsing life. Instead of having 20 unrelated tabs open in one window, you can neatly categorize them. For me, I like to think of them as subcategories, with the main categories being my profiles, for example, work, YouTube, and personal, and these tab groups being the subcategories. Before we wrap up, here are a few more Safari tips and settings that are worth knowing as you get everything set up. When you're trying to read an article on the web, but the page is cluttered with ads or weird formatting, Safari's Reader View is a lifesaver. If a page is compatible, you'll see a little icon on the left side of the address bar that looks like lines of text. Click it, then select Show Reader, and Safari will strip away all the ads, menus, and other distractions, leaving you with just the article text and images in a clean format. You can even adjust the font size, font style, and background color in the Reader View mode. It makes reading long articles much more comfortable. And if your Mac supports Apple Intelligence, you'll now also see a summary of the article. If you ever find an interesting article but don't have time to read it now, add it to your reading list. You can do this by clicking the Share button and selecting Add Reading List. Reading List is like a built-in Read It Later service. To access your saved articles, click the sidebar button and then hit the glasses icon, which represents the reading list. Your saved pages will be there, and the best part is Safari can download these for offline reading. So you can catch up on those articles later even if you don't have an internet connection. And since it's tied to iCloud, your reading list can sync to your other Apple devices as well. The last thing I want to mention is that recently, I've seen Safari actively promote extensions right from the start page. I haven't really explored the world of Safari extensions yet, but I am curious if you have any favorites or must-haves. If so, drop them in the comments below, as this is something I have not explored yet and I'm curious to know if there are any good ones out. Alright, that covers it. We walked through how to set up Safari on your Mac from scratch. We customized the start page, set a custom homepage, took advantage of Safari profiles to separate our browsing, organized our bookmarks with favorites, and managed our tabs with tab groups. Your Safari browser should now feel a little more tailored to you and your workflow. If you found this tutorial helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more Mac tips and tech tutorials. If you have any questions or your own Safari setup tips, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I love to hear them and help if I can. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.